Hello everyone. In this video, I want to talk about when to use PDF and when to use notes, or at least give you some considerations or things to think about when you're thinking about whether you're going to leverage a PDF or a note within the Supernote. Now, PDF obviously is one of those common formats that you can easily open up on many different devices. The Supernote format is something that's more locked down and native just for the device itself or its applications in order to see these files. So there, you can't just send a Supernote note file to any machine and then just click it and open it like you can with a PDF. So that's kind of one thing to think about when you're actually thinking about whether you're going to leverage the PDF or the note format. But the one thing to consider is that whether you use PDF natively on the device or you use the actual note format, you can actually export the PDF and the note into a PDF format. So even though it already is in a PDF, I'll give you a little bit of information on why you need to export. And the note, obviously, is not in a PDF format. So putting it into a PDF format makes it really easy to open it on another system. On the For the PDF, one thing to note is that you may not see this because these are hidden in the file system, but when you annotate a PDF on this Supernote device, what happens is it creates a .mark file, and that .mark file has all the inking and markup stuff that you do on that PDF from the Supernote device. So if we go into the actual file system here and we look at the files, and let's go into the documents because that'll show a little bit better. We can see all the PDFs in here, and there's only one page of PDFs on here, and you do not see any .mark files here because they're all hidden. But if you go to another system on a desktop, I'm going to show on the screen here on the Mac where I've synced the information, this device to OneDrive, and it's in the same folder, the Supernote Documents folder, and I have two of the files here highlighted just to show the difference between the size of the PDF, which is 25.9 megs here, and then the MARC file, which is 317 kilobytes. So this is something to kind of consider when you're using a PDF or a note, especially if you're thinking about using, say, a PDF planner, and if you might be wanting to use some of the linking features and things like that. What you can do is you can take a PDF, and what you can do with a PDF in this on this device is you can actually import that PDF to a note as a template, and you can bring all the pages over to that actual note. So why you would want to do this is because there are some features that you can do on the note side that you cannot do on the PDF side. So features like linking and say headers are two big ones. You can do those over here on the note in the note format, but you cannot do that over here in the PDF. Another thing is adding additional pages. So if I want to add pages uh, to the Supernote or to the PDF, let's go ahead and correct that first. You can do that over here in the note format very easy. And you can even apply templates to those additional pages that you add in here, which adds a lot of flexibility in the setup of the node itself and its structure, the pages, and by adding templates and new pages. But on the PDF, you do not get this option. So depending on what you're trying to do with the document that you're creating and you're leveraging on the device, should lend you to whether you want to use one or the other. Now, there are definitely other formats that are supported on this device, but I'm bringing up two of the most common ones for me. There is EPUB as well, but I found that EPUB has even less things that you can do with it supported on the Supernote platform than the PDF. So when I can actually get a PDF over EPUB, I will actually just use the PDF. Now, these are some things here to consider. The mark file, as I mentioned, these are two separate things. When you do an export, what will happen is the mark file and the actual PDF are kind of combined into one exported PDF. And by doing an export of the PDF on either within the Supernote app on your desktop or on the device, what happens is all the highlights and annotations are saved to the PDF that you export. If you were to open up the PDF here that is on device without exporting it, you'll actually see that there are no annotations on that PDF because everything is actually being saved in this mark file when you're talking about the annotations that you're doing. So that's one thing to note. You can also export the note document as a PDF and accomplish the same thing. So everything that you're hand inking in the note and that you're highlighting, whatever, all that annotation and stuff that you're doing, we'll say marking, is going to get exported into that PDF format. The benefit though, or the plus that you get is that the links, you get the linking work. Headings, actually, I'd have to check and see if headings actually come over in the table of contents or somewhere on the PDF. Typically, the most important, I think, is the linking, and then all the additional pages that were created are exported into that PDF. So you get a more capable end product over here when you're leveraging the notes versus the PDF. But if you're trying to keep it simple, you can simply just take the PDF, annotate it the way you want to, export it, and you're fine. So if you're not thinking about adding any additional pages or doing linking and headers, you can keep it simple. And the reason why I say this is that when you do this particular process here, when you go from PDF to Note and you import that, what I've seen is that you will increase the size of the file. So if I just come over here with one blank page, create a new note, and then I take a multi-page PDF, and let's pick an actual file that's in here because I've done this and I want to show the example here. We will go into my style and I have a PDF here and it's 12 megs. What I've done is I've exported that over into two different note files. And we can see the size of these are 150 megs each. Now, this is what has happened just by doing the import of all the pages in the PDF into that new note that had nothing else in it. So this went from to 114 megs, and I think the other one started at, what was it, 12? Oh, go back, go into documents. Oh no, it was in the My Styles, 12, yes. So that one's 12. So that is a pretty huge jump in file size. And why this matters is that if you're doing syncing, this is something that will slow down that sync process. And I'll tell you why it's more impactful here. So with the syncing, the only thing that gets changed over here on this side is the mark file. when you sync over here, what changes is the .note file. So everything, this single, um, this one file of this size is what's changing over here. The thing that changes over here is not the entire file. Let me undo that. It's just the mark file. And this mark file is typically pretty small. If we go back to those two files that I showed you before that are highlighted here on the screen, one file is 25.9 megs, the other one is 317 kilobytes. That's a drastic difference. So when you're doing syncing, which do you think is going to move faster through the process? A 114 meg file or a 300 and something kilobyte file? It's obviously going to be the kilobyte file over the megabyte file. And it is noticeable when you start getting to a certain size, especially depending on your network, just how fast that goes and whether it's going to sit there and just kind of chug along before it finishes. Now, where does this really even matter? If you have two devices or multiple devices and you need to kind of make sure they're in sync, this does matter. So if you put down your Supernote and you expect to go to your desktop and just start working, if you have a bunch of these type of files here that are really large, it might take a little longer for them to sync and just for you to wait through that process. In some cases, if you have another Supernote device, say an A6 and A5 type style, then you will have to wait for one to upload and then the other to download. So these are just things to consider. Not saying that everyone has a concern with all of the different elements that are involved here, but as you're starting to use your Supernote, this is just one way to maybe optimize the file size and also the syncing, and then also the features that you're looking to use for or on the actual device, irrelevant of which format. If you need linking, then you have to go to a note. If you need headers, you need to go to a note. If you need to be able to add pages, then you're going to need to go to a note format. So these are things that you need to just think about through your workflow. If you don't need any of these things and you're only going to go in that PDF and annotate it or use the digest, then yeah, you're free to go that route. So just things to consider that I've found using the device in the time that I've had it. And I just wanted to make a video dedicated to just this, to give people, some information. Now, if there's anything in here that someone who's been using a Supernote maybe have a different experience, then please let me know if maybe I've incorrectly stated something here. But from the way it's been working for me, this is how it all breaks down. That's going to be it for this video. If you found the information useful, valuable, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. And until the next time, have a nice day.